Well, my friends, in 97 days, we're going to take our country back and elect Donald J. Trump, President of the United States. God bless you. We got a Middletown person, and it's going to start in the great state of Nevada. God bless you all. Now, it feels like time is standing still here. Politics a lot has happened in the last month, but just over a month ago, President Trump wiped the floor with Joe Biden on the debate stage, exposed a massive cover-up of Biden's mental incapacity, and saved America from 4 more years of the disaster that is the Joe Biden presidency. And during that same time, President Trump accepted our party's nomination with overwhelming support. He held one of the most successful conventions in history. He took a bullet for the country that he loves, and he didn't miss a single day at work. That's a hell of a president, ain't it? And just imagine, my friends, just imagine what he's going to do with 4 more years, right? And that's what we're going to give. Now, we're going to say a word about the media. I know we have some friends in the media back there. Not all of them are bad, just most of them. It's okay. But after covering up for Joe Biden's mental incapacity and incompetence for 3.5 years, now the media is at it again. This time, gaslighting us on Kamala Harris's record and achievement. The same media that told us for 3.5 years Joe Biden was Albert Einstein is now trying to tell us that Kamala Harris is Abraham Lincoln. Well, we know the media loves a good fact check, so here's one for you. Kamala Harris was the most liberal member of the United States Senate. She is a San Francisco liberal. She is dangerously liberal. And thanks to the people in this room, she is never going to be the President of the United States. We're not going to listen to the media's lies any longer, and there's nothing they can do about the fact that Kamala Harris owns every failure of the Biden administration over the last 4 years. He didn't know what was going on, so somebody was calling the shots, and we know it was Kamala Harris. And let's just tick through the list. As America's border czar, Kamala Harris unleashed the worst border crisis in American history. 10 million illegal aliens just on her watch have invaded our country, and it wasn't by accident. We know it was by design. During her first failed run for president, she told everyone exactly what she wanted: to decriminalize illegal immigration, to tear down immigration customs and enforcement, and open up the floodgates while giving everybody who came here free health care at your expense. Then, on Kamala Harris's first day in office, she went to work. Not for you, but for them. And we should never let it live it down. They suspended deportations. They stopped building the wall. They reinstated catch and release, and that's how every state from Ohio to Nevada to California to Michigan became a border state. They just released people into our country. Sometimes they fly them first class and put them up in fancy hotel rooms, and you're paying for that too, trust me. And after bringing them all here, they proposed amnesty for millions of illegal aliens. She might as well have invited them personally to break our laws and come into our country. Now here's a crazy fact. The chief of Border Patrol was appointed over a year ago. But do you think our border czar has even spoken to that person? No, not once. I served in the United States Marine Corps, my friends. Semper Fi. And my brothers and I would have called that a dereliction of duty. Now, After all that, my friends, she has the nerve to question our loyalty to this country, mine and yours. Did you see that? Now, here's what President Trump and I believe about loyalty. Loyalty to this country is closing the border, not opening it up. Loyalty is safeguarding Medicare for American citizens, not bankrupting it by giving it to illegal aliens. Loyalty is protecting Laken Riley, not allowing an illegal immigrant to take her life. Loyalty is protecting children from fentanyl, not inviting the drug cartels to deal it on our playgrounds. Loyalty is serving your country in the Marine Corps, which is something that I did. Loyalty is taking a bullet for this country, which is something Donald J. Trump did. If Kamala Harris wants to see the face of disloyalty, she might as well look in the damn mirror. Thank you all. This administration handed out work permits to 3 million illegal aliens who lied to claim asylum. They turn a blind eye while those fraudsters steal American jobs and undercut American wages. And if the failed border czar wins, she is not going to stop until every illegal immigrant has the right to vote, which is going to destroy your voice in your own country to make room for people who shouldn't even be here. Now, you guys are fired up. What are they putting the water in Las Vegas? Jeez. But to all illegal aliens, President Trump and I have a different message. If you are here against the laws of this country, pack your bags because you're going home in 6 months. It sounds so simple, my friends, but it is time to put the interests of American citizens first. That's what our leaders should do, is care about their own people. Now, I want to recognize, before we keep on going, I want to recognize a few incredible, great Republican leaders who join us today, all the way from Florida. The great Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna, a great public servant. Love to have her here. We've got Nevada GOP Chairman Michael McDonald. Where are you, Michael? Thank you, Michael. We're going to Reno after this. I think Michael's going to come on the plane with us, right? We've got RNC National Committee woman, Sigal Chada. Where's Sigal? There, our ma'am, thank you. Got our nominee for Congress in District 4, John Lee. And we've got a lot of great members of the State Senate and Assembly. And I want to give a special shout out to a true American patriot. We talk about loyalty, somebody who has sacrificed more for this country than anyone that I know, and the next senator from the state of Nevada, Sam Brown. Sam, maybe we get Sam, come on up here. With the Secret Service maybe to open up. Give it up for Sam.
All right, Nevada, we're fired up for J.D. Vance and President Trump. Now, look, I gotta tell you, Senator, you are a happy warrior. Have you guys ever seen someone smile so much? Does this man love his country or what? When I see President Trump and I see J.D. Vance on the trail or on the TV, sacrificing, serving this country, this is what leadership looks like. And this is why I'm endorsing J.D. Vance as our next Vice President of the United States of America. You've heard me say this before. The words that took me from that place of having lost all hope on the battlefield as I was engulfed in flames were quite simple, but so powerful. It was, "Sir, I've got you." And I've tried to live with that in mind as my message to you. And I can tell you, as I look at President Trump, and as I look at J.D. Vance, and what they're going to do for this country, their message is so similar and resonates in our hearts as they tell us they've got us. They've got us, Nevada.
We're going to get this guy elected, right? He's a good one. Now I want to talk a little bit about politicians in this country who have sold out our country. And this is what I think is fundamentally broken and what Donald Trump can fix. When multinational corporations call the politicians' offices, they traded American jobs for campaign cash. That is the story of my entire life. I'm almost 40 years old. Now, they never admit that, of course. They brag about trade deals and promise cheap consumer products. They called it globalization, and that's what it was. American jobs went to some other part of the globe. And if it's up to Kamala Harris, it's going to keep happening. She voted, even after it was obvious it was a mistake, she voted to preserve NAFTA, the very trade deal that sent American jobs to Mexico and turned American dreams into nightmares. And now she wants a promotion. I say we ought to fire Kamala Harris and replace her with Donald Trump. Now, my friends, I want the American dream as a goal for our children and for our grandchildren. You never hear people talk about the American dream anymore. 4 years ago, you did, because things were going well. And just as Donald Trump brought it back when he ran for president before and served as president, he's going to bring it back. We just got to send him to the White House, right? So let's talk a little bit about what we believe in the Republican Party. We believe that 1 million cheap knockoff toasters aren't worth the price of a single American manufacturing job. We believe in rebuilding American factories and rebuilding the American dream, and we're going to stamp more and more products with that beautiful label, Made in the USA. Now, I have seen in my own life the consequences of electing failed politicians like Kamala Harris. When Democrat leaders fail our citizens, it is what the Bible calls the least of these that suffer the most, and I know that because of where I came from and how I grew up. Now, I stand here as your next Vice President of the United States, and I am proud to do it. But it wasn't supposed to work out like that. I grew up in a family that struggled with addiction. That's why my grandmother raised me. I grew up in a family that sometimes struggled to put food on the table. I grew up in a family where things were often tight and tough. But I made it because, first of all, this is a great country that provides opportunities to its citizens, and we are grateful for it. Now, I also made it, of course, because I was raised by a tough old bird I called Mamaw. And I've heard so many stories about Mamaw from people all over my old hometown. And I've remembered things about Mamaw that maybe, after 20 years you forget. But one of my favorite Mamaw stories is when I enlisted in the United States Marine Corps. She was very proud of me. Remember, this is 2003, a time of war, and she was a little scared for me. And so she was pissed off at the Marine Corps recruiter. And I'll never forget when he came over to talk to her about what boot camp would mean for the family, she stood on the porch, and he started to walk up, and she said, "If you put one foot on my porch, I'm going to blow it off." And that was the woman who gave me all the opportunities that I've had. And I'm so grateful for all the strong women out there, especially the strong grandmas and the strong moms. So I have lived the American dream. In fact, I'm living it right now with you all, getting to spend great time and having a lot of fun here in the great state of Nevada. But friends, the dreams that we have for our country and our families, you better believe it, they are on the ballot in November. And the way to preserve that American dream, the way to fight for that American dream, the way to build upon that American dream is to elect Donald J. Trump, the next president of the United States. Now, let's talk about the contrast between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. Kamala Harris's vision is for open borders and closed factories. Kamala Harris wants a government that tells you how to live your life, and she wants smaller family bank accounts. Kamala Harris is promising widespread war while American citizens pray for peace. And remember, Trump delivered peace. Wasn't it amazing? Kamala Harris pledged to ban fracking, which would destroy the energy economy in this country. She vowed to end offshore drilling. She co-sponsored the Green New Scam. And when you fill up your car at the gas pump, maybe we should all just send Kamala Harris the bill. Is that? I don't think she'd pay it, but we ought to try. That's right. Make no mistake. The terrible affordability crisis, higher groceries, higher energy prices, higher housing prices, it is destroying the American dream, and it is Kamala Harris's fault. Now, President Trump, of course, built the strongest economy in the history of our country. I'm 40 years old, almost. I'm sad about that, by the way. I turned 40, I think, on Friday. Thank you all. No. Beautiful singing voices, great energy. You've got everything here in Las Vegas. But remember, for 40 years, we had declining wages for workers. Under the Trump administration, we had rising wages for workers. And it's common sense. How did he do it? He delivered a giant tax cut for hardworking families. He rewarded companies that built jobs and factories in the United States of America and penalized the guys who were shipping jobs overseas. He unleashed the entrepreneurial spirit that drives American innovation. He inspired us all to believe once again in the promise of America, that if you work hard and play by the rules, no height is beyond your reach. And Kamala Harris has broken, I think, that foundational promise that if you work hard and play by the rules, you ought to be able to live a good life in this country. Now, that's why so many Americans no longer believe that their children will be better off than they are. And I hate to say it, if we elect Kamala Harris, they're going to be right. So if you're out there and you're trying to make ends meet, if you're scraping by instead of thriving, if your hope is dwindling just as fast as your bank account, help is on the way, and its name is Donald J. Trump. We need a president who is going to make this country wealthy again. We need a president who's going to make life affordable again. We need a president who's going to tell our great American energy workers, drill, baby, drill. We do not need a president who's fantasized about closing immigration and customs enforcement. Would make the border crisis even worse. We do not need a president who wants to turn our cities into sanctuaries for criminal aliens and then defund the police so there's no one at home to stop them. But the clock is ticking on Kamala Harris. 6 months from now, President Trump will launch the largest deportation program in American history. We're going to end catch and release. We're going to ban sanctuary cities, and then we're going to finish building that beautiful Trump border wall. Ain't that right? Now, when rioters and looters, remember that in the summer of 2020, burned American cities to the ground, Kamala Harris was trying to bail all of them out of jail. The criminals she helped free included an alleged knife murderer, a convicted rapist, a domestic abuser who later shot and killed a man. Isn't that crazy? Now she wants to end cash bail so that if you assault a police officer, you can be out the next day. She also wants to confiscate firearms from law-abiding American citizens. In other words, she wants to abolish your Second Amendment rights, even as she lets more and more dangerous criminals on the street. And we're not going to let her, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to boot her out of office. I guarantee you, if Kamala Harris is president, law-abiding citizens are going to struggle. They are going to be sitting ducks. But we're not going to let it happen. Every man's home is his castle, and he should be able to defend it against anyone who threatens his family. It's a simple American principle, and we're going to fight for it. And we know the truth, by the way, that our police are heroes, and we're always going to have their back. A vote for Donald Trump is a vote to back the blue and the communities who depend on their safety. Now, we got to save a little. We got to save a little energy because I want to introduce two of this community's finest. Nicholas Pappas, where is Nicholas? Stand up, sir. And Michael Goodwin of the Police Officers Association. Let's give them a round of applause for everything they do and all of those who help us. Now, together, we're going to save this country for every American of every race, color, and creed. And it all starts with strength. Strong borders, strong families, a strong economy, and a strong president. And of all of Kamala Harris's faults, the worst of all is that she has left this country weak and vulnerable. The entire world now knows that she helped cover up Joe Biden's declining mental capacity for years. And now our country is saddled with a president who can't do the job. And if you think it's bad, my friends, we've seen only what's happening when the cameras are on. What do you think Joe Biden's like when he's sitting in a room with world leaders? Our adversaries are licking their chops, and the world is in disarray because of weak American leadership. Now, anyone who is too blind to see Biden's incompetence, or more likely, too dishonest to admit it, is not fit to serve as commander-in-chief of this country. And the Democratic bosses, without Democratic voters casting a single vote, have installed Kamala as their new nominee, or at least they're trying to. We'll see if they maybe give her the boot in a few weeks, too. The media, which for years has said that Republicans are a threat to democracy, they're calling it a coronation. I've got a different word for it. I call it a coup. In America, my friends, we do not crown our leaders. We vote for them. Remember, in the 2020 Democrat primary, Harris dropped out a month before the first vote was even cast. She was so unpopular, she polled in the single digits even among Democrats her entire campaign. She wasn't in the top 3 in her home state of California. We've got to give credit where it's due. Maybe we aren't Democrats, but the Democrats were right in 2020. We don't want a wacky San Francisco liberal serving as commander-in-chief. We don't want Kamala Harris. Her record of disaster is clear. 500,000 kids have been trafficked by the cartels thanks to her policies. Hundreds of thousands of our citizens are dead from fentanyl thanks to her policies. Hardworking Americans cannot afford groceries or rent because of her policies. And my question to the American people is, do you want a president who is disloyal to this country, or do you want one who is willing to take a bullet for it? I think I know the answer. I'll ask you a simple question. Do we want open borders? Do we want to bankrupt Medicare by giving it to illegal aliens? Do you want to defund the police? Do you want to ban fracking? So do we want Kamala Harris? Hell no. Instead, in just a few short months, from Nevada to everywhere else, we are going to lead a great American restoration. We're going to bring strength back. We're going to bring common sense back. We're going to bring prosperity back to the American people, and it's starting in Nevada. God bless you all. Let's go elect Donald J. Trump, President of the United States.